So I thought it might be interesting to look at some education movies and to talk about some education movies on the blog because I think that a lot of people think that they know a lot about education based upon their own experiences. Like, patrons out there think that they understand education because of their own experiences in the education system, and also because of the way that the media and movies, entertainment depict education, which I think is really quite inaccurate most of the time. But I thought it might be fun to kind of explore some of those presentations of education and unpack those a little bit on the podcast. Excuse me, on the blog. I have a podcast also, but this is a blog. And so I'm curious about what your favorite education movie is. Um, but I recently, in fact, I rewatched it just this weekend. Watched a movie with Hugh Jackman and oh, I forget her name, but Allison Janney, and it's called Bad Education. Now, there are other bad educations out there, but this one has those two actors in it, and it was just released in 2019. And it's about a superintendent in New York who embezzled lots of money, and his business administrator was doing the same thing, and they were caught and did jail time. And um, just how they were able to snowball everybody um, with their stories of success. And it got me thinking a little bit. I think this is actually a really interesting movie. And I think that it very much speaks to the facade, the presentation that we all put on in education. Like, we do a really good job of presenting ourselves publicly. This is who we are as an education system. It's very cosmetic. Um, we put on a show. I think a lot of times it's the teachers of the year, or the teachers that are recognized with awards are the ones that are, they're not necessarily the grind teachers who are, getting the best results, but they are the ones who are showy, who, really can present themselves well, who can interview well, because the interview is part of the process. Um, you know, the, the teachers who can get people excited about education, the public, the general public, just by, the things that they present and show off. So, yeah, I think that education is very cosmetic and it's very presentational. And, I mean, we dress up during parent conferences because we're trying to convey something to the general public. But then when we are teaching our kids on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every other day, we might wear flip flops. So it's true. It's a fact in education. I wouldn't wear flip flops, but I've seen people wear flip flops to work. And so this movie is all about that. It's about the presentation that we put on for the sake of, keeping the community happy, keeping the board happy. But what's really going on underneath? Are we aware of what's happening underneath? And I'm not saying that, there's lots of embezzlement happening out there, but what I am saying is that we are often protecting the community from what's really happening in our schools. And, I think that I was riding in my dad's truck the other day, and he listens to some old country music, and there was a Merle Haggard song. I think it was Merle Haggard. It's like, if you don't love our country, leave it, that kind of a attitude, which is still prevalent in some circles. Um, but and some people have said that to me. It's like, quit criticizing teachers, quit criticizing education. But it's because I love it that I criticize it. It's because I want it to be better that I say the things that I do, that I put myself out there, like, risking maybe future employment to be able to say what I think is the truth and what would make education stronger. So I'm going to wrap up this part, and I'm going to come back to bad education in just a minute, because I'm approaching my 5-minute video limit, and then I will have a part two to this.